Hi, I'm Jason Grover for ThatShelf.com, and we're here to look at the Degritter MkII.
Big shelf.
So fans of the site know how big of a fan I am of the Degritter, the ultrasonic cleaning machine. Originally started, I guess, as a Kickstarter or whatever the equivalent crowdfunding was from Estonia. I've long been a fan of this product. I think that in the world of audiophile non-sensory stuff, nonsensical stuff. They were very much out of the block with something that sort of did the job, did it well, made your investment in vinyl actually prolonged. I put everything through these, from brand new records to used. When you get brand new records, so often there's some paper embedded in it. There's all kinds of nonsense that you get even on brand new clean records. It's just so easy. I had an Okinoki for years. There's many videos on this channel that actually detail that, which we can link to below. But nonetheless, I've been a huge fan of the Degritter MkI. There were some teething issues early beginning. We had a slight issue with one of the rubber bands on the inside. It got fixed. Tenyo and the entire team at Degritter have been amazing. I have a couple thousand records that I've actually put through on my Mark I, and I was super excited when they actually announced the Mark II. Now, let me actually read what is new in the Mark II. New Mark II. Degritter Mark II offers sophisticated ultrasonic cleaning. It's true ultrasonic. I mean, so many of these machines use ultrasonic to sort of create bubbles in the water, but weren't actually using cavitation to actually clean. So it's a true cavitation cleaner, as the Mark I was, of course. But the ultrasonic power drive 2.0, stronger but safe for the record. So you get actually more energy coming out of the transducers, which are essentially underwater speakers. Think of them that way. And they're actually spitting at a very particular frequency so that the bubbles go, they sort of explode, and then get all the gunk out from in the grooves of your record. It's actually the same way that you ultrasonically clean glasses. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, jewelry, etc. But because it's designed for records, the transducers are sort of located in a way. They're not just coming up from the bottom, they're on the sides, and that actually allows it to be engineered specifically for records, as opposed to some of the relatively low-cost ones, which just repurpose sort of a generic ultrasonic cleaner that's coming up from the bottom, and then it's really not doing much on the sides of the record at all. Polished exterior design in keeping with the hard design standards. Yeah, I mean, just looks as good as the other one. I finally have a black one, which is nice. The black version actually came out long after I actually got my Mark I. Distinctly automatic. It's fully automatic as always. Simple water management. Yeah, there's just a thing on the in the back. Is the same design. It seems for the actual water container. Perfect touch button. So we perfected the feel and function of the machine's buttons. The rotations and presses provide most satisfying feel you'll be able to let go of. I'm not sure that's... the rotations and presses provide most satisfying feel you will be unable to let go of. Sure. So it means that you're going to be fondling the buttons a lot, which is, you know, something that happens all the time in Estonia. The fact of the matter is that it just feels like the same but better. It's as simple as that. On the exterior, it's very much identical, but just the clicking and the sort of functionality of the buttons feels a little bit better. The filter is the same on the side. And there's been all kinds of updates since the Mark I, monitoring temperature and actually giving all kinds of elements actually on the screen. You can now do things like an automatic rinse. All of that stuff you've been able to do sort of with incremental software updates. And that's one of the things I've been extremely pleased with, is that they have continued to upgrade their devices as new features come in. Even the way that it rotates, all of that stuff has been programmable from the Mark I. So what do we get with the Mark II? Well, this one's actually kind of interesting, because when they sent it to me, this actually has a different layout. For those of you that are used to the other one, it was very text heavy, and you can see now we're very much icon based. It's probably going to be a little bit challenging to see as I'm trying to fit in a camera here. You can see how many, I've just done a few records so far, but the fact of the matter is that, again, you have this really nice feel, and then the dial sort of works exactly like what you want. But you essentially now have, and it's interesting because the manual that comes with does not include the information about the new software. It's software 4.0.0 Mark II, and the software has elements that allow you to have 4 cleaning modes, basically. You can still change the duration of the fan, you can still change the strength of the fan, except instead of written in English, it's icon based. Now, some of it took a little bit more getting used to than others. I mean, it wasn't so obvious about what the 4 different cleaning modes meant, but if you sort of go along here, you can see that it's basically, I mean, we're in info right now, so I got to get back, figure this out while I'm upside down here. Right, so you can see by minute, you can sort of see where it's cleaning, right? So mode 1, 2, 3, and 4. So just instead of basically quick, medium, and high, you basically have 4 modes now for doing cleaning, which includes your ability. You can actually have it so you change the tank, you have all of that stuff. But again, they are right. They're incredibly satisfying. The rotation, nice click. The sound of the transducers is a little bit louder. It sounds a little bit more powerful, for lack of a better word. It's not so, like, it's not piercing. It's nothing like that. I'm sitting here adjusting this sort of rubber gasket that comes on the top is always a little bit of a schlep. I've always found it to be a little bit more of a pain than not, but it sort of settles in after a while. But, you know, other than that, I mean, I've gotten a few cleans over this. I will be doing a sort of more thorough and detailed review of it in time, but I just want to give you a taste of what the Mark II looks like with the new software, allowing you to do some pretty cool things. So let's just go in here and see what we got in this, if I can actually see this. I know this is sort of awkward. Yeah, we're back here. I'm sorry, I'm doing this upside down. But you can see filter change, etc. Like a really clear indication there that if you're actually resetting the filter, there's the filter page. You can change the water level. You can change the fan thing. This is it. So if I'm changing the water level, this is all here. So let's just go to that and try it one more time. Here, again, I'm upside down. And you can see that we can do all of these elements here and actually get it through. You get the idea. It's a little bit hard upside down, but you at least get a taste of what's actually going on there. So there we are. There's our very initial look at the Degritter Mark II. I look forward to putting it through its paces. My understanding now is that users of the Mark I will continue to have support for some time to come. Many people have been actually after thousands and thousands of records, have been able to actually get some of the parts replaced, sending it back to Estonia, which is fantastic. The Mark II sounds like it's a little bit more robust, and it seems like a refinement more than anything else. It's sort of like all the stuff they've learned, they've put into this. And this is probably the most overt when you actually look at the graphic design of the actual screen, to actually change the difference between the Mark I and the Mark II. But in terms of functionality, it works as good as it did before. In terms of its performance, well, that I'll have to see in a much longer performance video. For now, I've just been putting in new records, just knowing that I'm going to be able to hit play, have it clean, get it done, and know I have the satisfaction of my records are about as clean as they're going to be. I pointed this out on the last video, but I will have to reiterate it here. One of the gifts of this, of spending this fortune on a machine like this, is that it gives you that sense when you have a record and it doesn't, the miracle's not performed and it's still a little bit poppy and clicky, you know you've kind of done everything you can do. I always found right when I started with a spin clean and then up to an Okinoki, it was always one of those things like, oh, what if I could just have access to an ultrasonic cleaner? Maybe this record could be improved. Maybe we would get that sort of gunk that's sort of deep in the grooves and actually get out what's the most capable of on the record. You have a weird level of sort of satisfaction, like, you know what? I clean it as much as I can. I've done as much. Sure, I can do a couple runs on this or something like that, but even that's just hitting play again. I'm not sitting there scrubbing. I'm not doing anything ridiculous. I'm simply having the satisfaction of knowing I can get the most out of my records. And at that point in time, you do the most important thing, which is just sit back and listen. You're not obsessing and thinking like, oh, what if I just got maybe that click? No, it's just once it's done, you're like, that's it, and you accept it. It's as simple as that, which is one of the great things about that. Honestly, for me, with my collection, that's actually the most priceless thing. That I know that this is about as good as I can get. Sure, I can spend $15,000 on some weird pro models if I was doing hundreds and hundreds of records a day, but this is a top-of-the-line unit that is commensurate with the rest of my setup. This is something at the level that it is not cheap, but in terms of the investment where you see I have thousands and thousands of records, to have something like this to make sure that they're taken care of in the way that one would want for the records, I'm not cheapening out on getting something that's sort of hacked together. I know I'm getting something that's built by a number of people who genuinely care about their vinyl collection and are doing everything they can from an engineering and a design perspective to deliver the most cost-effective unit that does the job and does it elegantly, does it quickly, and does it with a level of satisfaction. And so that's what I absolutely adore about Degritter. It sounds like I'm sitting here just trying to make something up, but I own this unit because I love this unit. It's as simple as that. And I look forward to seeing some of the quirks because, again, when you love something, you know its quirks. You know some of its issues, and we will see whether the Mark II actually makes up for some of that stuff. We'll go from there. So tune back in, subscribe, and then you'll see my sort of full-length review of the Degritter unit. But for now, please let us know on social media. Follow us on social media. Excuse me. Let us know in the comments what you actually think about this model, or even just the whole notion of vinyl collecting in general. Go to thatshelf.com. It will really help us out a lot for you to support some of our writers. And we'll see you next video for thatshelf.com. I'm Jason Gorber. Thanks so much.